Today I want to talk about something that is very, very wrong with all writing advice out there. This is coming from someone who wrote and published a book 10 years ago. I've been writing a fantasy comic for over a decade, and now has been working on writing a screenplay for a TV show. I'm highly inspired to record this video because I watched this video by Writing Theory. The video is called Why You Can't Write Like Sarah J. Maas. In this video, gentleman goes over a fragment of this book and basically highlights green everything that is relevant to the story, yellow everything that is not so much relevant to the story, and red that everything that is completely not relevant to the story. Basically pointing out the amount of exposition that Sarah J. Maas uses specifically in this book, specifically in the beginning of this book. Implication that it is wrong. You shouldn't have exposition, you should extract on the story to tell other things. To defend his point, Writing Theory brings up the book by Robert McKee called Dialogue. Basically the idea of the quote here is that all the exposition can be put in dialogue, and the author goes as far as to say that the first function of dialogue is to pass exposition to the dropping reader or audience. Alongside this, there's a lot of writing advice that I hear that has to do with 3-act structure, inciting incident. Alongside with this advice, this creator, Alyssa Matisik, who used to be an editor working for publishing houses, recently she made a video talking about the first chapters and how they are not interested enough in the material that her followers sent her. Basically, get to action, get to things, or you're gonna lose your reader and your book doesn't have good writing. A lot of this advice can be traced back to the book that is called Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. As you can see, the tagline for this book is the last book on screenwriting that you'll ever need. Screenwriting. This book has become so popular, especially with writers. The new version of this book came out that's called Save the Cat Writes a Novel. Basically transforming kind of like the same tips for the novel writers. All the writing advice I see about what makes a good writing, what makes a bad writing, it's all about how efficiently tell the story without losing your reader. Following tried and true story beats. Not distracting the reader from the main plot at all. Being very direct, very clear, and very efficient at telling your story. This is great advice for screenplay. For movies and TV show, the person truly has to sit uninterrupted watching the screen on the certain period of time. And you should grab the attention for this period of time. This is not true for the books. You go through the story of the book at your own pace. You can read this book for 2 years, for 5 years if you want. You can read 3 books at the same time, reading a little bit, and maybe then going back and reading it again. Books don't have time built in the way you consume them. And thus, they're not meant to be consumed as movies. Especially all the commercial movies that the Saves the Cat advice is for. My favorite reads meander as hell. This book has almost no dialogue. Ursula Le Guin famously said that dialogue was something that she struggled the most with. A lot of her story is told through narration, and I really love it. My favorite book of all time meanders as hell. Robin Hobb talks about her character's inner world a lot, distracting from the main story. In fact, her character most of the time doesn't notice the main story, and that's why he gets in trouble. Have you read this one? Basically, books are not movies. Write however the hell you want.